Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Brains and Beauty. I'm a PhD student studying brains and also a beauty lover. And on my channel, I focus on creative, conscious consumerism. So I like my collection to be able to do anything I want, but I also don't want to be overspending or bringing more into my collection than I can realistically use. Now that may seem a little bit at odds with today's video, because I purchased eyeshadows from Givemeglow and they have quite large pans. But I will show you how this purchase does actually align with my goals near the end of the video. So in the beginning, we're just going to do a classic unboxing with swatches. I'll also do swatch comparisons with anything that's similar in my collection, but honestly, these Givemeglow shadows are so special. I don't know if anything else will be similar. But yeah, I can't wait to dig into these, so I'm just going to get right into the video and the unboxing. Okay, so as you saw, they seem to come pretty well wrapped and nothing has arrived broken, which is great. So I picked up these 5 shades. All of these were 9 Canadian dollars, so I got Icicle, Under the Sea, Valentine's Red, and Going Bananas. And this one was the only one that was a bit more expensive. It's 13 Canadian dollars. And this one is Rose's Remix. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start with Under the Sea. Okay, so right off the bat, I feel like I expected it to be similar to the Glaminatrix formula, where they're very like kind of slick, oily feeling, but these are not like that. They're just soft, regular kind of feeling eyeshadows, but the metallic shine on these is unreal. That is very, very beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Okay, let's do Icicle next. You guys, I am so excited. This is the perfect metallic white shade. Like, it is a true white, it's not silver, and it's absolutely beautiful. So these two shades are so beautiful, and I think one of the things that I was wondering about when I was thinking of getting Under the Sea was that I was worried that it would be too dark. And this is like truly a mid-tone blue. So even in the pictures online, and I think you can see it here too, it looks really dark on the edges, but that's just because it's so metallic. Like, it's so shiny that the contrast between where the shine is and the like corners is just really striking. So I think that's why it looks like it's darker, but it truly is like just a metallic mid-tone blue shade. Like, even the white, it might look like on the sides it's not as bright white, but really it's truly a bright white throughout. Okay, let's move on to this shade. I am so excited. This is Going Bananas, and this was the one that really like drew me to the brand because it's so hard to find like true yellows, and especially yellows that are like this bright, whether it's in palettes or single form. Like, this is a really unique shade to me. Oh my goodness. Yeah, okay, this is exactly what I wanted. This is such a pretty yellow. Oh, look at these. These are literally perfect metallics. Yeah, so this yellow is very bright. It's almost like neon-y, so it's quite bright. And it's a little bit different than the blue. Like the blue isn't coming off as like a neon-y blue, but the yellow is more of like that kind of neon-y yellow. Yeah, so these are the 3 shades. Now let's get to the last shade we have here, Valentine's Red. I don't know what that is on the packaging, but anyways, as long as the shadow inside is good. Yeah, it's just the glue. It's like kind of coming off on this one. But the shadow is good and that's all that matters. So let's give this one a swatch. Oh, this is creamier. Like slightly creamier than the other ones. Ooh, it's really pretty. It's deeper than I expected, but it's a stunning red. Wow. Wow. Okay, okay, okay. Okay, I think this one has, oh yeah, you can definitely tell. This one has the most foil-like effect, I think, out of these. Wow, that's beautiful. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. So essentially, when I was thinking of making a single shadow order, I really wanted a true yellow because I knew that was missing from my collection. And then I was thinking it would also be nice to have a true red. And so I was really searching like across all the indie eyeshadows if there's any brand that makes a true yellow and true red. And I often found brands that made like one or the other, but not both. And I really love this yellow out of all the other brands, but I almost wrote off like buying from Givemeglow because I thought this red was more of a pink, and I was like, no, I wanted a true red. But my friend Sarah on Instagram, I talked to her about like what she would recommend, a brand that like sells a true red and a true yellow, and she mentioned Givemeglow, and she actually had Valentine's red and she swatched it, so she showed me that basically this was a true red. And so I want to make sure to mention that in case someone else was also wondering. This is a true red. There isn't pink in this. I know it kind of looks like that because of the like the flash of light, but in reality, it leans a little more blue toned, but it's still a true red. Like I think you can definitely see that it's also kind of just dependent on the light. I have like the light on in my room. You can see the red, but the window or the ring light, you're seeing more of that kind of cool tone red. But yeah, really beautiful formula. Like that's the prettiest red I've ever seen. So here are some close-ups of colors on my finger. And then again of the swatches. Okay, so now we're going to open the last one, the more expensive one, and when I was, watching a bunch of swatch videos to make sure that these are the shades that I wanted to get, I saw this swatch and I was like, I can't help myself. Like, I need this. This is just so beautiful, and my jaw just dropped watching those videos, so I couldn't imagine what it would be like owning this. So I'm really excited and left the best for last. Ooh, the sparkles. Oh my god. I think you can even see it in the pan. Do you see that? This is just me like moving the pan a little bit in my fingers. And it's like the sparkles are just dancing in the pan. Wow. And you can definitely see how metallic it is against natural light. And then the light in my room really shows the sparkles. That's so pretty. Okay. Am I even ready to swatch it? Like, am I emotionally prepared? Okay, let's do this. Ooh. Wow, this is really special. I'm gonna give it like a vertical swatch. That is the prettiest neutral shade. Wow. Oh my goodness, this is like actual magic. This is so special. Wow. Yeah, I don't even know what to say. It's so metallic. Like, it's literally like liquid metal. It's very soft, so the formula feels like Valentine's red. It's a very soft foiled eyeshadow, and from this angle, you really see like the foil, and then from this angle, you see all of the sparkles. Yeah, it's and all of these are so pigmented, like super, super pigmented. Yeah, and this rose gold. I'm someone who doesn't really like when things lean too warm, and this is the perfect neutral rose gold. Like it doesn't lean into that kind of orangey rose territory. It's very much like the shine is very silver, and the base is like the perfect like neutral rosy brown kind of gold. Like it is really, really beautiful. Like I could see myself wearing this every day. That's a stunning shade. So you can see the base. Yeah, it's definitely a neutral shade. It does not lean too warm. Alright, so those were the 5 eyeshadows that I purchased, and they're all beautiful. They're all exactly what I wanted them to be. So I'm going to actually show you how this compares. So I had gotten the Urban Decay Heavy Metal palette a couple years ago, and I got it because it was supposed to be like the perfect metallic palette. It had all the neutral metallics I'd want and all the colorful metallics I'd want. So this was supposed to be kind of the palette that did it all, but I was feeling that this colorful side is a little bit darker, which is nice, but it just meant that I didn't have any kind of bright metallic tones in my collection. So I will compare Dive from the metallic palette. So as you can see, Give Me Glow has much more of a stronger shine and also is a brighter blue than this kind of deeper metallic blue. Okay, the camera stopped and I didn't catch it. But basically, what I swatched after the blue one is the shade After Party. So just this shade, I swatched it right here. And as you can see, compared to Valentine's Red, this shade is just more of a muted red. It almost looks a little bit more kind of like rusty. So that is the difference. Definitely Valentine's Red is more of a truer red and more brighter. And then I don't have any yellows in my collection. This is a very unique color, going bananas. So I just swatched the true gold I have in this palette over here next to this shade. And so this gold or true gold compared to the like true vibrant yellow from Givemeglow. As you can see, the Givemeglow is much more of a neon-y kind of yellow shade. And then lastly, I don't have any like white shades in this palette, but I pulled out the Glaminatrix palette, and the shade Fairy Lights is a really sparkly white that I have in my collection. So I did want to compare the two. Okay, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but the Glaminatrix white is more of like an ivory. Like it has a touch of, I don't want to say gold because it's not a gold shift. It's just like more like a warmer white. Whereas Icicle is like a cool toned, almost bluey white. It's not blue alone. Like as you can see, it's not blue, but when you compare it with a warm white, it almost leans a little blue, right? Which means like the name Icicle is really fitting. It is a true white, even though it just leans more into the cool tone, like paper white, whereas Fairy Lights from Glaminatrix is more of a warm white. And then when you turn it to the light, Fairy Lights has more of a like sparkle to it, whereas the Givemeglow is a true metallic. So that is the difference between these two. You can see it on my fingers as well. So this one is Icicle and this one is Fairy Lights. Okay, and now let's look at something. I mean, I don't think anything's going to be able to dupe this level of shine and sparkle, but I do want to kind of just look at like a shade comparison. So I really like Maiden from this palette. It's a very pretty metallic neutral shade, and I think the tones are actually really similar. It's just that Rose's remix is still more cool toned than Maiden. Like the base is more of this like browny rosy gold shade. Maiden has a bit of warmth to it when you're comparing it. Let's see, is there anything else? Angel Fire is another one that I would usually go to whenever I wanted like this effect, like a rose gold kind of effect. But that one is a lot paler, so I don't think that this Angel Fire is close to it. So yeah, I think that's basically the closest shades I have in my collection that can come close to these, but as you can see, they're much deeper, they're murkier. This is a gold, not a yellow, and this one has more sparkle to it, and also I feel like when I sheer it out, it's just a lot warmer. So when I think about like mixing anything with a white, I would prefer to mix with like this kind of true white rather than like a warm white, because then if you were to, for example, want to mix a cool tone shade, you'd have to account for the fact that there's a bit of warmth to the white. So I would prefer like kind of just a straight like true white. Again, it does look a little more cool tone when you compare it to this, but there's no blue in here, like it's a true white. So with that being said, let me go ahead and wash my hands because I've already made a mess. And then we're going to get to the second part of the video where I explain why I bought these shades. Alright, so I went off camera and did this. So I'll roll the footage while we chat about why I just did this. So, I think the pros for the Givemeglow eyeshadows, as you can see from the swatches and the comparison to other eyeshadows, they are so beautiful, they're so metallic, they're so vibrant. But I think there's also a con to these kinds of eyeshadows that are in really large pans. These are all extra large 37mm pans. And realistically, we're not going to be able to use these up, you know. For those who are not makeup lovers and they don't have, a huge makeup collection, perhaps they could get like one special shade in a really big pan like this, but I still don't think they would use it up because if they're not makeup lovers, they're likely not wearing makeup every single day, and so again, this is a very large pan for someone like that. And then for someone who is a makeup lover, you likely have other shadows in your collection as well, like a larger eyeshadow collection. And so you're not going to be able to give all of the eyeshadows enough love that you would actually use them all up, especially if the pan is this big. So I thought one way that I could combat this, and one justification for why I still bought this specific shade, the Roses Remix, is because it's a neutral, glamorous, special shade. I feel like this color will literally work for anyone because it's a very beautiful neutral rose gold, but it's special enough that it's not something that's found in everyone's collections. And so I have 5 friends that wear makeup, but like super occasionally, like just for, glamorous moments, not on an everyday basis. And, I've raved to them about multi-chromes and indie eyeshadows, but it's not something that they would look into and purchase because it's not their passion or hobby to go and find like the best eyeshadows on the market. So I thought before I dig into this eyeshadow, before, I get messy with it and I play with it, while it's still fresh, I went ahead and I sanitized these 5 sample pans. And I'm just going to go ahead and scoop out a little bit of this eyeshadow into each of these pans so that I can gift one to each of my friends. And that way they can get a little taste for a really special eyeshadow and I can kind of share the love. So that's what I'm doing here in this clip. I'm just basically scooping from the top layer and I'm pressing, like just dry pressing. You don't need any other product or anything. Just dry pressing into these 15mm pans. And I'll just give these to my friends so that they can enjoy playing with this super sparkly neutral eyeshadow. And again, because they're not makeup lovers, honestly, I feel like this amount of eyeshadow will last them for as many uses as they want from it. And it's the kind of thing that I know they wouldn't have purchased otherwise if I didn't just gift this to them. So in that way, I'm sharing the love, and I'm not like as concerned about all of the product in here expiring because I just gave a big chunk of it out. I am only scraping the top layer, but I did actually hit pan while I was scraping a bit of this out, so I have created quite a dip in here, and I think for the rest of the product that's in here, it's actually a more realistic amount that I could finish up. So with that being said, I did create a bit of a mess, and then I went ahead and actually created a huge swatch on my palm for you because I may as well with the product that's laying around here. Um, and I did want to demonstrate a little bit that the eyeshadow, this eyeshadow can also be sheared out so that you can kind of get just a wash of sparkle and shine. It doesn't have to be the full pigmented swatch. So I'm going to go ahead and put these in here to give them to my friends later. Okay, so then I decided I may as well just actually sample all of these for myself as well. So the reason why I have these 15mm pans is actually because on my channel I have sampled all of the eyeshadows in my collection, particularly all of the ones in my eyeshadow palettes, so that I can have little single magnetic pans so I can build my own type of custom palette whenever I want to. So I have a whole video explaining that process. But here, because I do want to include some of these shades as themselves in my custom palettes, I'm just going to go ahead and sample all of these colors for myself. Oh my gosh, look how cute they are! They're so cute. So I sampled all of these eyeshadows, and I'm going to go ahead and put them into the Big Magnetic palette where I have all of the sample pans. So this palette has all of my eyeshadow palettes. So my smaller palettes are each a row over here, and then my 4 larger palettes. Over here in the corner is where I have some of the single shadows that I have sampled. Some of them are magnetic, some of them are in pots, and I'm just going to put these here. Let me scoot some stuff down. I think you can even tell just looking at this how bright the Give Me Glow shadows are compared to all my other shimmers. So definitely this was something that I was missing in my collection, and I'm so glad I have these bright shimmers. Now you guys haven't seen this yet, but I did do a bit of reorganization on my single shadows. So all of my multi-chromes are in here now, and all of my indie single shadows that are not multi-chromes are in here. So I just have the 3 pastels and then this duochrome. So I'm going to go ahead and add the Give Me Glow shadows here. Okay, perfect. They fit. Okay, I was a little worried they wouldn't, but I'm glad they fit. So there we go. This is my indie single shadows that are not multi-chromes. This is my indie single shadows that are multi-chromes. And then this magnetic palette is for shades that I have mixed and created myself. So this row was the Myrte palette, this row was the Natasha Denona Gold palette, and then here are some from the Cinderella Sigma palette. So now what I'm going to do, because normally in my Make It or Buy It's, I have duped eyeshadow palettes before, but in today's video, before we wrap up, I want to do some mixing using these primary shades. So the reason I justified the Roses remix is because it's a neutral shade that I could basically share with other friends, and that way, you know, that entire amount I didn't have to use up myself or worry about it expiring. Now, as for the rest of these shades, I actually think that I can finish them up. And the way that I can use them up is by using them to create any metallic shade that I could possibly want. And so 2 metallic shades that I was interested on the Give Me Glow site are Sour Apple, which is this kind of lime green. I don't have anything like that in my collection. And the shade Perry, and I absolutely love periwinkles. So I'm going to try to make those 2 shades right now. I'm going to make Sour Apple by mixing in Going Bananas with a tiny bit of Under the Sea. Maybe I'll add in a bit of white, we'll see. And then for Perry, I'm thinking of starting off with Under the Sea, adding in the Icicle white shade, and then a touch of the Valentine's red. So I'm just going to throw on some lo-fi music and get to mixing. Okay, we're getting close. I think I want to add maybe just a touch of the white. Okay, yeah, I like where this is going. So this is more of like a yellowy lime. So it's actually looking like the shade Lemon Lime. But I'm going to try to add a little bit more blue and a little bit more white to make it more of that lime green. Ooh, okay, this is definitely now more of a true lime green. It doesn't lean too yellow. And honestly, I think I made it. Like, this is a really bright lime green. But I kind of like the neon-y effect of the yellow. So I'm kind of gonna go in between, I guess. I'm going to put a little bit more yellow. Look at that shade. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. That is a really pretty lime green. It's super metallic, super vibrant. I'm going to have a lot of fun now having a lime green in my collection. So I'm going to go ahead and press this. Okay, let's do the periwinkle now on the other side. Ooh, that's a really pretty blue. But we need more red to make it into a periwinkle purple. Okay, I think we did it. Slowly but surely, you get to periwinkle by adding a little bit of red at a time. Like looking at the image, I'll throw it up on the screen as well, and looking at this, it's literally identical. So there we go, we did save 10 Canadian dollars by making this myself instead of purchasing another large pan of this shade. So I'm going to go ahead and press this. Look how pretty these two shades are, the periwinkle and the lime green. I'm super satisfied. So, my final thoughts are that the Givemeglow formula is really nice. They have some really beautiful metallic shades. I'm glad I got Rose's Remix. I think it's a gorgeous neutral that me and my friends will enjoy. And these really worked well as primary shades. And I'm really looking forward to mixing these so that they can be bases, like metallic bases for multichrome. So if I mix these with like an iridescent multichrome, I could make a really cool multichrome. So I'm just excited. I actually don't own any yellow-based multichromes, so this Going Bananas is going to be so pretty underneath all of my iridescent multichromes. I'm so excited to do that. So yeah, I can't wait to play more with these. You will see them definitely featured in future videos. So if you like watching that kind of content, please do subscribe. And if you like this video, please give it a like. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!